Alright, so I've got a strange failure today on a 2007 Ford Explorer air conditioning compressor clutch plate. You can see that the splined hub here has separated from the friction plate. This is all supposed to be one joint assembly. This vulcanized rubber is supposed to hold this in tightly, and it separated. I'm guessing it got too hot or just stress over time caused it to break free. But what was happening is when the pulley was engaging on this clutch plate, the friction material was rotating, but this was staying stationary, and this was making like a nasty burning smell and horrible noise. It didn't sound great at all. And so I got to looking online and found a replacement from Rock Auto for about 60 bucks. Here's the part number that was original. I'll have to put the part number I got from Rock Auto in the description. This was for the Eddie Bauer version with a 4.6 liter V8 and overhead heat. I don't know why that matters. The front clutches looked the same, but I guess there's a difference. So the new one's on and in place. I have the bolt in there, Loctite in place with blue Loctite. And I had to fabricate up a spacer that goes inside of the splined shaft opening here. And what that does is it sets the spacing of this whole clutch plate from the pulley, which also has a friction material on it. And if that spacer is too small, then the clutch plate will always be engaged on the pulley and the compressor will always be on, and you don't want that. And if you have too much of a space, then it won't engage correctly, or it'll engage too loosely, and you may get slippage, which will grind down the friction material and cause issues with the compressor as well. So there's a happy medium there. You're supposed to measure in the gap right here. Get the light in here as best I can. But you're supposed to measure in the gap between, you can see the older rusted surface and the new metal. There's a small gap in there, and you're supposed to measure that tolerance, and it should be, I think, 14 thousandths to 30 some odd thousandths. I don't have any feeler gauges, so I just did what I thought was right, and I made a spacer on my milling machine because I didn't want to pay $20 for a spacer. And interestingly enough, there was not a spacer when I pulled it off, but I took a stainless washer and I put it in the milling machine. This one is version 1, so it looks kind of nasty, but I just kind of kept rotating it in the vise as I ran the mill across it and was able to narrow it down. This was like 26 thou, and I made a new one that's a lot smoother at about 35 thou or so. And I tried the 26 thou first, and I found that it was still kind of dragging when the clutch would be in the disengaged mode. I could hear a slight grinding, so I ended up making the thicker spacer, put it in there, and now it's a nice solid engagement and disengagement without any additional noise. I did take some videos of the failure when it was still on, and then videos of it after it was fixed and working appropriately. Maybe I'll figure out how to splice that in here. I'm not too good with audio-visual modifications of videos and all that, but if I figure it out, I'll put it in here. So I hope that helps. Press the button. Turn it off. Press the button. Push the button. Turn it off. Turn it on. Turn it off.